Okay, muy bien. Today we're going to learn about the object pronouns. This is the lesson for this video, and for that we need to understand some concepts, important concepts first. Okay, the first thing is to understand what's a pronoun. And a pronoun, we can say that a pronoun is a little word that we use to replace a noun. For example, in a sentence you can say Pedro is going to visit his mom, for example. In English, instead of Pedro, you can say he's going to visit his mom, right? And instead of his mom, you can say he's going to visit her, right? These little words that we use to replace a noun, they are called pronouns. And depending on the function that they have in the sentence, they are called subject pronouns or object pronouns. We use subject pronouns when the pronoun is replacing the subject of the action, and we use object pronouns when the pronoun is replacing the object of the action. In this sentence in English, for example, Pedro is executing the action, so Pedro is the subject of the action. And his mom is receiving the action of the verb. In this case, the action is going to visit. So his mom is the object of the action. The one who receives the action of the verb is the object of the action. In English, you cannot say he is going to visit she, right? That is incorrect. Why is that incorrect? Because she is a subject pronoun, not an object pronoun. So in Spanish is going to happen something similar. The object pronouns are not exactly the same than the subject pronouns. They have their own form and they have a different function in the sentence. They replace the one who receives the action of the verb. So that's what is an object pronoun. Now you know what's a pronoun and what's an object pronoun. So the next question is, how many pronouns do we have in Spanish? In Español we have 11. Okay, we have 11, but you here in the United States, you only need to learn 10. Okay, only 10. Because the other, we have a special object pronoun for the countries who conjugate using vosotros, and that is os. We are not going to use that much here in the States because the Spanish that we are more close or more related to is with the Latin American Spanish, and we don't use this conjugations or the object pronouns that comes with that person. So we have 10, and they are me, te, nos, se, lo, la, le, los, las, y les. See? They are 10. The most important thing is how do we use them. More important than knowing what's a pronoun, what's an object pronoun, and how many pronouns are there, is more important to know how to use them. So that's the real important part. Okay, and for that we're gonna learn the placement rules for object pronouns. We have special rules for this. There are 3 placement rules. The first rule says that when we have an object pronoun and a conjugated verb, the object pronoun precedes the conjugation. So if the verb is conjugated, the object pronoun goes first, then the verb. We'll see this over the examples. The second rule is when we have an infinitive verb in a sentence, remember that infinitive verbs, we can recognize them by the ending. They always end in ar, er, or ir. If you have this type of ending, it's a verb that is not conjugated. It's a verb in its natural form. So when we have that type of verb, the object pronoun goes attached at the end of the infinitive and it becomes a single word. The third rule says that when we have a present participle, more important than the name is the ending, the ando yendo endings. When you have a present participle, the object pronoun goes attached at the end of the infinitive, of the ando yendo. See? What happened with adoído? Adoído are past participles. And with adoído, we cannot attach at the end or we cannot put it before the adoído. Normally, this comes with a conjugation of a verb. Okay? When adoído comes with the conjugation of haber, then you can apply the first rule. Go with the conjugation of haber and put the object pronoun in front of that. See? But not here or not here. Okay? So that's how it works. You have to memorize the three placement rules, and more important than memorize them, to apply them, to practice them and apply them always. So that's how it works. Now let's see. Let's see how it works with some examples that I have prepared for you. Okay, los ejemplos. For example, suppose that you want to say he's going to buy a car for me. That's the first object pronoun that we are going to learn in this book. En mí, en español, es me. At this point, you already know how to say he's going to buy a car, but you don't know how to say he's going to buy a car for me. So that for me is going to be me, because me means four different things in Spanish. Me means me, to me, for me, and from me. Okay? So me means me, to me, for me, and from me. So in this case, we know that this for me is going to be me. But where do we put the me? In the sentence. We're going to apply the placement rules. So, él va a comprar un carro and me. But where do we put the me? Where do we use that? Okay. The first question is how many verbs do we have? And we can see that we have two verbs. This is a conjugated verb because we are changing the form of the verb from the infinitive ir to match with the third person, él, in this case, right? He is going. So this is a conjugated verb. And this one is an infinitive verb. The verb is in its natural form. The infinitive to buy, right? So if you check the placement rules, the first rule says that when we have an infinitive verb, we can attach the object pronoun at the end of the infinitive. So that means that you can say, él va a comprarme un carro. It becomes a single word with infinitive. Okay? The object pronoun goes attached at the end. And the rule also says that when we have a conjugated verb, the object pronoun can precede the conjugation of the verb. So if you say, él me va a comprar un carro, that is also fine. So it's either or. You can put it here, attached at the end, or you can put it preceding the conjugated verb. Okay? Let's see the next example. My mother is going to cook for me. Mi madre, I put it here. Mi madre va a cocinar. And we have again for me. We know that for me is me. So let's see. Where do we put the pronoun? Two verbs. Va a cocinar. We have an infinitive, so we can put it here. Mi madre va a cocinarme. That is correct. Or you have another option. Mi madre me va a cocinar. This is supposed to be me. Me. Okay? So either or. Two options again. The other example. Next example. She has to help me. Ella. You can say it or not. Ella. Remember that the subject pronouns are optional. Ella tiene que ayudarme. Right? Because this is an infinitive verb, you can put it here and you have the conjugation of tener. So you can say also, ella me tiene que ayudar. Okay? Two options. Both are correct. Both are common. Now let's see more examples. They want to help me. You can say, they want to help. Quieren ayudar. Ayudarme. Attach at the end of the infinitive. Or you can also say, me quieren ayudar. In this case, preceding the conjugation of the verb. See? He can't take me. Now we have another basic action. He can't. No puede llevarme. We have an infinitive verb, so you can say llevarme, attach at the end. Or when you have a negative, the negative goes first, and the object pronoun always happens in reference to the verb. So that way we are not breaking the placement rules. And we say no me puede llevar. See? So that is the other option because we have two verbs. We have a conjugated verb and we have an infinitive verb. So both ways are correct. Let's see. Next example. They like to help me. Let's see how many options we have here. They like, les gusta to help, ayudar, and ayudar is an infinitive, so we can say ayudarme as a single word, right? But we have a conjugation. The thing here is that the structure of to like is backwards, and it's always in a special structure. And we are already using an object pronoun here. Gustar and the verbs that behave this way are special cases. So it's kind of an exception, but not exactly. We are using and applying the rules here. You have an infinitive, go with infinitive, and don't put it here. You cannot say, I put it in another color, in a different color. You cannot say, les me gusta ayudar. That is wrong. You cannot say, me les gusta ayudar. Wrong. And les gusta me ayudar. right? So with gustar and the verbs that behave like gustar go with infinitive. That's the only option. Okay, so we can take this structure as an exception. Now let's see this one. It's another case. My friends have helped me. Mis amigos, because it's something that someone has done, we are going to use auxiliary to have. Mis amigos han ayudado. And then, if you check the rules, we mentioned before that we don't use object pronouns with ado ido endings. So that means that you cannot say ayudadome. Totally wrong. See? The only option that you have there is the conjugation of the verb haber. So what you have to say is mis amigos me han ayudado. So with to have done, go with haber, not with ado ido. You cannot put it there or here in front of ayudar or the past participles ado ido endings. And the last example. My sister is buying a present for me. Mi hermana está comprando un regalo. And we have for me. Then now we know that for me is me, right? But where do we put the me? So we have two verbs in this sentence. Está, the conjugation of the verb to be, and a present participle ending, ando yendo, right? According to the rules, you can say comprándome, attached at the end of the ando yendo. This is correct. Or preceding the conjugation that we have. Mi hermana me está comprando un regalo, or mi hermana está comprándome un regalo. See? You can add the emphasis if you want, but you cannot use it without the me. Mi hermana está comprando un regalo para mí. Okay? But this is acting only as an emphasis. If you want to say it without saying me, it's incorrect, or it's not common to say that. If you want to sound natural, you have to use the object pronoun. Okay? So object pronouns are very important. The thing that you need to remember is the placement rules and learn how to apply them. And now you can answer the exercises on your book. And that's it. And bye.